Howdy everybody, welcome to L2PS2 episode 22 here. I'm trying to think of what date it is. December 29th, that's what it is, 2014. 2 more days until 2015. Wow, it feels like the year has gone so fast, and it doesn't even feel like it's so close to New Year's Eve for some reason, at least to me. But anyway, I hope you've all had and are having a wonderful holiday season. Happy New Year and so forth in advance, and thank you for tuning in and joining me, guys. I appreciate it. So if you are unfamiliar, I am ItZMuRdA. These are my 4 main characters that I play, and I try to play, on all 3 empires pretty equally. I'd like to think that I have a, kind of a reasonable, experience assessment and so forth. I try to be as unbiased as possible. In kind of my my decision making and my experience, I guess, or my feedback that I give to you, or my answers to your questions, and so on and so forth. So I try to approach it from all of the different angles. And L2PS2 is a Infantry Training Camp show first and foremost here on the PlanetSide 2 official Twitch channel on Monday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, and it's kind of just a really laid back, informal, infantry-focused stream with me. You guys can, ask any questions you have in chat. I'll be happy to answer them. And I also try to give a, little bit more of a play-by-play, in-depth analysis into what it is that I'm doing and why. And we kind of just go from there. We've got some giveaways. We've got some good times. And I also stream over at ItZMuRdA.com, or ItZMuRdA_TV is my Twitch username. Most of the other nights of the week, so you can catch me over there as well. And hey Scott, yeah, you guys did reach out to me, and I think I'm on the radar for that, so I certainly hope to help out. Here today is weapons 50% off on the daily sale. Keep in mind those sales are still going on in the depot for the holidays. You definitely don't want to miss out on that. Probably gonna jump in and dump a whole bunch of station cash right now. On these, the old Windows login sound. Anyway, so yeah, right here and right here, whether you're a member or not a member, there's 89 station cash deals that are happening each day. 89 if you're a member, 99 if you're not. But either way, there's some really inexpensive stuff that you can pick up if you don't already have it. I recommend checking that out. Also, I guess you can't see from there, but the flare guns. Wow, the regular one actually 50% off today. Anyway, if you didn't pick up flare guns in prior years, or during July 4th or something like that, those are available once again for the next 3 days and 5 hours as of the creation of this video. And all of the weapons are 50% off today. So what I think I'm going to do is... Yikes. It's unusual to have such a huge sale on the gold and black versions of the weapons. They're almost never up for the daily sales. If they are, it's few and far between. To have them all 50% off with the membership on top of that, I don't really know that there's another opportunity where they'll be any less expensive. So naturally, I'm a collector of... I have all of the vehicle weapons and all of the infantry weapons except for a lot of the newly added reskins. So I may as well just go and pick this up. What are we looking at? I'm just kind of... We've got 4 golds that are 9, figure 4,000, 5,000, 12, 7,000. You're probably looking at about 7,500 here. Thankfully, I picked up a triple station cash code during the recent promotion, so... Let's go ahead and do this. Them being NS, also unlocking them with station cash will unlock it for all of my characters. So I'm not going to use many of them in the near future, but I'm sure I will at some point in time. And I totally didn't plan to do this during the stream, but just so that I don't forget, since there's only 5 hours left on the sale, I'm going to go ahead and be that guy that's going to do this right now. So that I don't miss out. Being somebody who switches weapons a lot when I Araxium them, and things like that. I kind of always want to have additional means of having weapons available. There you go. We're back to owning all of the weapons in the game. Anyway, I'm a little bit of a lunatic, but we still got plenty of station cash left over, so awesome. I just so happen to be on NC because I happened to log on that. Also, if you participated in the 12 Days of Camo promotion and bought, I believe, at least 6 of those camos, you should have received that little Snow Hex camo pop-up in your notifications when you logged in for the first time. I claimed it earlier today, I think. But I don't know if it's going to be at the end of this list, but I can show you guys what that looks like as well. Just bear with me for a sec. Or not. Is it only on one character? That would be a shame. It very well may be, so... Oh, no, it's not. It just must have went elsewhere in the list there. This is what Snow Hex looks like. You should have received it, as I said, if you bought... I think it was 6 or more of the 12 camos in the 12 Days of Camo deals. Speaking of which, the holiday event's still going on. I still rock your helmets, and get the 50% bonus EXP from that if you've done that. So that's definitely something you want to capitalize on. Oh, look at that! Got the Snow Hex on on the Santa hat as well. That's pretty cool. All right, let's actually shoot some folks. What do you say? Love you, Josk. Love you. What am I doing? First things first, I'm gonna go through and just swap my Empire colors. I don't know if I'm gonna play NC, the entire show or anything like that. I just happen to log in here first. Vital Biolab. I haven't been in a good Biolab fight in a while. They can be pretty hit or miss. Fort Drexler might be more my speed. I'm gonna take a look here. Probably gonna switch off the Icy Kill, maybe go to the Carver. Carver, one of the new knives that you can activate for a one-hit kill. Lots of fun to be had with that there item. I'll throw Snow Hex on here too, just for good measure. Contrasts with the hard light and the Araxium hat quite a bit. So yeah, you saw me changing my colors there. I use gray or white, that kind of a neutral light color for friendlies and red for enemies. It just makes it easier for me to quickly identify and delineate friendly foe targets when I'm switching around empires a lot. But that is by all means a personal preference, and you are more than welcome to use whatever combo you like. Lots of times if you only play one empire or you only prioritize one empire, the default setup is actually pretty handy. So you very well may want to go with that. Hey Dana. Nice, Minnie. You got somebody, I was going to say, like right on top of me or something there. Yeah, I think to echo on that, Minnie, and to, kind of follow up on what I was saying earlier, if you're somebody like me who's kind of invested for the long term, one of the biggest favors you can do yourself is being as patient as possible with your purchases, both of station cash and of in-game items thereafter. So I like to think that I manage my my planetside finances reasonably well, in terms of just kind of stocking up when the getting's good, like during a triple or double station cash sort of opportunity, to stock up your wallet and top off, and then waiting it out and pouncing when you've got good sales. Like for instance, a 50% off of an item plus your membership bonus on top of that is usually as good as it gets, with the exception of the 1 station cash, 99 station cash type deals that they've done. but that's only on some very specific items once in a while. So purchasing all of those today when you're basically getting them for what, 55% off or something like that is it's pretty significant, I think, even if I won't use a handful of them for quite some time. It kind of plays out over time, and I don't know. The same can be said for certs. It doesn't have to be station cache only. You're just looking at kind of a more black and white sort of a situation, since the promotions and sales and whatnot are typically only applying to station cache. What's going on under HBAT? Gatorface. I'm actually using the Bandit at the moment. It's one of the, I'll say newer, but because it is a new a new carbine in comparison to other carbines, but it's been in the game for a while now. It's kind of an all-around decent carbine choice. It's not really a favorite of mine, or highly recommended or anything like that. I'm mostly using it, as I had mentioned before, for going through. Get myself in a bit of a jam. Oh, the Sunder is actually going to move up. Allow that guy to kill me. But using it mostly at the moment to work on the Araxium metal with it, more so than anything else. But it's pretty decent all around. Yeah, so Steve-O, the infantry weapons are all 50% off, and there is a Harasser Horn on the normal sale and a Short Circuit Camo on the member sale. Yeah, as in Cyclone's a really good SMG. Perhaps my favorite of the, kind of base non-Araxium reward SMGs, because I'd have to say that I like the Tempest a little bit more as a revamped version of it. But yeah, it's very good, widely regarded as such, I think, and often even used by heavy assaults and whatnot. If I swap to this infill build with the Tempest, it's basically running a Cyclone with fixed attachments. If you're not familiar with the directive weapons, so I can kind of give you a feel for the gun. Is that guy way up there or in the tree somewhere? Ike. Stayed near that vehicle on fire for a little too long. I am running the Carver on here too. I should probably try to snag a few kills with it. Knife hit detection is a bit off at the moment, to say the least. I know it was widely adjusted in the most recent patch, but I think that came with some unintended side effects as well that have made knives pretty much half what they used to be in terms of their reliability and accuracy, and getting your stabs to hit your target. That being said, it can be pretty frustrating using them at the moment, but the new activatable knives, especially if you're running an infiltrator, very handy at getting a one-hit kill as long as you remember to activate them. Like that, for instance. Oh, the Headless Max takes us out. That's kind of creepy. But yeah, just as an example. Yeah, it's not all of the weapons. It's usually between 4 or 5 weapons of that class. I believe the SMGs are 4, carbines would be 5. And no, A3, I'm happy with the high velocity on it. I mean, I think a lot of people would think that soft point would be better suited, but I think high velocity is pretty underrated, and the reason I like the directive SMGs so much is the fact that they can kind of still act as an SMG, but they have significantly better medium range potential than any other SMG does. Kind of more like an automatic scout rifle in that respect. So I think the fact that it's kind of running an unusual loadout serves to its strengths. Otherwise, you could just run a cyclone or something like that. Yikes, he did not want to die. Pushing these guys out pretty good. Medkits, especially new players, I cannot say enough about recommending using medkits and getting used to that as your kind of go-to utility item. Super helpful when you get used to running around with them out when you're in situations where you're not going to be directly engaged in combat, or rather you're not going to be the one shooting at least, or when you're flying as light assault, kind of like this. I know that I'm exposed at the moment, so may as well take one out when I'm flying. It can save you plenty, let alone to be able to have you heal up back to full basically after an encounter, if you're not a medic, for instance. There's definitely some issues with medkit functionality in high density areas. It used to be a real problem some over a year ago or whatever, where a lot of us had even switched to using resto kits due to the fact that they would just malfunction. But it did get better for a while. I have noticed that it has happened again lately, but it's usually in high density areas. Unfortunately, it's kind of a server related issue. A lot of guys in this building. I don't think I'm really going to get past that wall on Maxis too easily. I did rebind it, but I think it's still it's Z is what I made it, I believe, the switch fire mode, which works probably better for me than most people. Since I'm using ESDF for movement, I can pretty easily just tap Z with my pinky, for what that's worth. It's an interesting question, Dana. I can't say that I use C4 often on heavy at all, so I haven't been in that situation too much. But I would guess, and I'm sure you kind of know the answer to the question, but I would guess that it would really just depend on the situation that you're in. If you have all the time in the world and the guy doesn't know that you're there, you definitely want to go for the second C4, especially depending on what type of vehicle it is, if you're going to need the rocket to follow up anyway or not. Oh shit. But if you're in a jam, you're taking heavy fire and you're worrying about not being able to get that second C4 tossed, you could probably do a rocket. I just don't know how much time it would realistically save you. And yeah, I would suggest the last level of medkits. I think most importantly, you want to get the first 1 or 2 or 3 levels of medkits, especially as a new player. But ultimately, I think having the 4 is still useful. There's times that I even run out, even with 4. So I think in some capacity, it's definitely worth it. Sure. It's just a matter of, as with most things, how quick you want to unlock it. In PlanetSide, the last rank of something is often fairly expensive, and it's something that you probably don't want to unlock right away, especially if you're you know, a little bit starved on certs or just starting out or something like that. Nanoweave armor and, you know, other suit slots and things like that are another good example. It can be really beneficial just having the first rank or two, but getting the last rank is going to be very expensive and something you'd want to wait off on. But ultimately worth it, I think. I mean, as you can tell, I know I've been playing for a while and whatnot, but even this character has 20,000 unused certs at the moment. And not because I'm lazy, but because there's not really anything that I deem all that required, I guess. And I mostly just bank them and spend them as I really feel like I need them, or if I'm trying out something new. I still have a mag shot, that's interesting. I guess that was when I was doing knifing. So, for the time being, I don't think it's all that important. Trying to do some juking of various angles there, throw those guys off. Unfortunately, he has a shotgun. But, yeah, I don't know. Little bit kind of in a ramble mode there, but hopefully I helped answer some of the questions. I'm trying to glance over as often as possible and pick them up. Oh, shit. See the actual quick knife of the Carver in action there. I was fat fingering buttons left and right. I figured why don't I just grab the easy kill. But and then once I quick knifed him once and realized I had a Carver, I was like, oh well, I guess I'm just gonna do it again. Not recommended to run the new knives, the Carver, the Ripper, or the Lumine Edge, if you are only going to be quick knifing, because they are a bit slower for the same damage. But if you're running infill, or if you have the opportunity to actually activate the knife and use the one-shot mode, then definitely worth it. As a rule of thumb, I'd probably only default to them on infills and use a normal knife on one of the other classes. Yeah, I fortunately or unfortunately haven't played on Connery a whole lot lately, so I'm unfamiliar with any issues that it's been having from a first-hand point of view. But so I've heard. So I've been kind of dodging it, playing on Emerald for the time being, and you know, I can't say anything's too far out of the ordinary over here. Seems fine. Under quite a lot of fire here. Might actually be able to grab the Forbidden God Saw in this type of situation. Let me at least throw a EXP helmet on. I'm not a huge fan of the God Saw or the Gauss Saw, personally. It's alright. It's not bad. It's reasonable. What the hell? Is that the guy that's like way up in the tree? Probably. Keep seeing this dot over here and I don't know where the hell he's at. But nonetheless, it is pretty good for when you are kind of, you know, I don't want to say stationary, but kind of nestled in some sort of a point where you can safely, ideally stand still while you're firing to keep your accuracy and recoil under control. If you're familiar with Battlefield, for instance, this gun, more than any gun in the game, functions a lot more like a Battlefield LMG would, and really suffers immensely from movement while firing. So something you kind of want to get up in a perch at reasonable mid-range, long-range, and then you can take full advantage of the hefty damage per shot that it affords. But in most situations, I'd kind of prefer running like an EM6 or an Anchor or a GD22S. It just kind of allows you to slow peek and creep around at a distance, and if you're landing those headshots especially, you're going to drop people really quickly. Equip time on it's also very low, or slow I should say. There's a sniper way out here. It's probably not really worth my tracking him down, but here I am. I can still hear him over here. Wow, I'm bad. Huh! He gets rocket primaried by that guy. Classic. Is the lasher any good? That was a very embarrassing rocket launcher shot. Just hit instant action, drop over to current station. Lots of times I'll use my instant action keybind, which should be I by default for most people, just to see where it's going to bring me. If it's a a bad choice, just cancel it and hit a redeploy, and then check out the reinforcements for that situation. Yeah, I mean, minimap is huge on Divide, and I always say that I think the average player really doesn't use it well at all, and you can kind of use that to your advantage as more of an experienced advanced player. That's also the reason why I almost never run suppressors, just because I feel like their worth is so dependent on the skill of the player that you're facing, and also completely nullified by certain other things in the game. Probably don't want to really be using the Godsaw in this particular situation, but since I still have it, I'll play around with it at the moment. But as for the Lasher, it's I find it kind of fun, but it's really more of a suppressive support weapon. If you can make the orbs actually hit your target, you'll kill people with it, and you can also pester people quite a lot from distances with it. But it's not really going to be worth using over a traditional LMG or anything like that as an alternative choice. Unless you're just trying to have fun, or you actually want to use it as a support weapon, I think. I really don't think the minimap's overrated, man. I think people are just very bad at using it. But audio cues or sound is also chiefly important. Becoming familiarized with all of that. Yeah, Gatorface, I definitely think that it could be better with a squad. I mean, I've certainly used it as well. I think I've got like 700 kills or something with it over time, which isn't a lot, but my share of time spent kind of playing relatively solo with the weapon, and it's been alright nonetheless. I think it's just I think you kind of generally have to have a significantly greater skill level than your opponent to really kind of last in a 1v1 sort of thing. I know there was another question in there that may or may not have scrolled. If I missed anything, please feel free to re-ask. I'm trying to watch it as much as I can without dying. It's a careful art form that I've slowly, I don't want to say mastered, but greatly improved on over the past 2 years. Trying to read every single thing that comes in chat and not completely be ineffective in game. More centers. My medkits are the universal utility slot, so medkit C4 whatever, is bound to either 4 on my keyboard or 8 on my Naga. I've kind of used both interchangeably just because muscle memory can't shake one or the other, and so I've kept it on both just in case I go to reach for one, it's still there. But I do try to keep all my weapon swaps on my Naga so that I have them easily accessible. I don't have the channel, Devin, but I'm one of a handful of streamers that have shows on the PlanetSide 2 channel with editor and moderator privileges to be able to run the show over here, to speak to the wider audience, if you will. And I do this show on Monday nights from 9:30 to 10:30 Eastern, and then I still do my normal streams most of the other nights on my channel. GD7F is not a gun that I've used a lot lately. It was probably the first carbine that I axiomed on this character, and something that I've been out of the loop on using for quite some time. I do like it though. There's something about it that's a little bit spammy, given the high rate of fire and whatnot. I know that's kind of the gun's style, but I tend to prefer things that are a little bit slower, that I can actually more accurately aim with, which is what typically makes things like the ACX-11 so favorable for me. But GD7F is still really good and kind of unparalleled in the sort of close quarters hip fire light assault weaponry for NC. So definitely a good one to have in your arsenal. Yeah, if you're looking for that very close range hip fire monster as an NC carbine, then that's your choice for sure. There's a few other guns that kind of do something similar. The Bandit, which I'm using at the moment, being one of them, but not quite the same. Has a few notable trade-offs, but you can still hip fire really well and still run the mid-range pretty well. It's just not going to have the same ridiculous rate of fire for the advanced laser sight hip fire range. Destiny, I'm a pretty mediocre pilot. Vehicles are definitely my weak suit in comparison to infantry. I'm okay. I mean, I'm above average, I'd say, but nothing to write home about, except for the flash. I'm good at using the flash. All the other vehicles are pretty meh. So, this show is predominantly focused around infantry, just because that's what we work with during the hour that we have here on Monday nights. But there are other folks like Mushin, for example, who does a show on Thursdays that is more focused around flying. As well as some of the other streamers on here, and just on Twitch in general. I think they'd be doing you a greater service than I would be to watch me fly around. I do run aircraft from time to time, but it's mostly transport purposes and air to ground. Nothing too fantastic to really watch. But I do occasionally on my own channel as well. I'll put a polar bear in chat there if you wanted to link to my channel. Most of the other nights I have more time to stream over there, of course. So most of the other nights I stream on that channel, and have a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more time to do some different things with it. So speaking of polar bears and NS-11Cs, I have 2 of them, well, one of each, to give away tonight. And the show's already halfway over. It's crazy how that time flies. So I'm going to go ahead and put a code on the screen at the bottom portion of the screen along the bottom ticker there, that you would just have to retype into the redeem a code section on planetside2.com, or you can try to do it in game if you're in game, but sometimes that one takes a bit longer to actually register. They are first come first serve, the codes, just because that's how they're designed by SOE. But I do give away, you know, at least 2 items a week on this show, so we've got plenty. Don't worry about that. We actually just did some massive giveaways the other night on my channel as well for the holidays. We gave away I think 11 items in total. Some of them being physical items like dog tags, shirts, hats, and whatnot. It was a lot of fun. So I will be doing another sizable giveaway when I hit 5,000 followers on my personal channel. So just for what that's worth. But let me go ahead and plop the code in on the screen for the polar bear giveaway real quick. Polar bear decal. There it is. It is this this guy, which you can't really see too well through the hard light armor, but my actual logo turned into a decal, which is awesome, immortalized in game, and you can have your very own. Unfortunately, on mobile, you probably can see it on screen, but you wouldn't be able to type it in fast enough. So that is, I guess, kind of a downside of that particular giveaway model. For mobile devices. When I do the giveaways on my channel, again, when I have a little bit more time to prep them, because they take probably 5-6 minutes to do each giveaway, just getting everybody all squared away, I'm able to use a random number generator and randomizer and things like that to kind of provide as unbiased and fair of a selection as possible. But unfortunately, it kind of takes some time and detracts from the actual why did that not kill me? The actual show itself. I was like mesmerized as I was watching the generator explode, but then I didn't die. I don't think I did, Qbert. I think everything's going strong. I mean, everything's working as intended right now, thankfully. But I don't think there's any major changes since recent past. Nice, Nexium. Congrats, man. Thank you. I also do, in addition to giving out polar bear decals each week, for anybody who is a subscriber of my Twitch channel, that's also a kind of an added perk as a way to say thank you. So if any of you have in the past or currently are or do in the future sub to the channel, you should all receive a polar bear decal code for your own personal use as well. Hoping to do some more with that in the future. The BB decal, if you're familiar with my cat who's often on stream, she hasn't been as much lately as she used to be, unfortunately. I'm kind of sad about that. I don't know what she's up to. But created what is maybe arguably the... Oh, right, knives don't work properly. I should have just shot him. The most awesome emote in the world. That'll be coming to the depot here in the hopefully near future as an actual decal, so I'll have more info for you guys when that's out as well. But it's pretty cool stuff. Really happy about that. So I do have an NS11 CP that I'll probably give away in, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. Maybe I'll run around with it a little bit first to give you an idea. It's pretty flexible, well-rounded gun. I think it's actually yeah, it does, Dana. I think it's actually the last NS11 CP code that I have. I don't know if I'll get more replenished from SOE at some point. Unfortunately, those are not things I can make or purchase to give away on my own, so I work with what I can. But if I don't have any more for next week, I'll probably start maybe giving away some, I think I have a couple of boosts, or see if I can get some more golden guns, or snowball guns. I have a couple of those as well. Especially once the holiday event is over, the folks who didn't buy a snowball gun or a holiday bundle this year can get their hands on one of those through that. So that could be helpful, hopefully. There is so much crap right here. I was gonna say, I know I'm gonna die. Friendly. Hey, Iron Fist. I haven't seen that guy in a while. Speaking of pilots, he is definitely a good one. He used to, I don't think he still does, but he used to make some really cool videos on XLMS TV YouTube, piloting videos. I haven't seen him in a while though. Nice, Josk. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, Qbert, PS4 edition's hopefully going to be playable by the masses very, very soon. I don't have any info on that, but really looking forward to it. My next stream on my channel will probably be tomorrow night, but it won't be on this channel. That'll be over at ItZMuRdA.com. I'm gonna be off on Wednesday and Thursday from streaming just because of New Year's Eve, New Year's Day holiday commitments. I'm actually working our New Year's Eve party at my job. For what that's worth, but I won't actually be home to stream. And then my stream will probably come back Friday and Saturday as well. But as for the Planet side official streams right here on this channel, I don't actually know from each and every person when they plan on streaming this week, given the holidays, but most of the time there is something going on at least once each day during the week on this channel. You can usually kind of get a heads up, or if you follow the channel, you should get a notification when it goes live. But different members of the community, as well as SOE employees, stream at various times. I know SOE is on vacation at the moment, and I think a handful of players are as well, so might not be quite as frequent. I think last week was kind of a short week for a lot of people as well, so I don't know what this week looks like for them, but normally, like I was saying, Lucian streams on most Thursdays, and Rel often streams on Wednesday and or Friday. Soren the Bear often streams on Friday, along with Kid Riot, I believe. You just you have different folks streaming at different times, different days of the week. SOE often did their streams Tuesday and Wednesday, but like I said, I just don't know if they're all going to happen this week given the holiday schedule. But there's a lot of cool stuff to look out for each week. Get a little Rambo trigger happy over here. Let me actually switch over to a loadout with an NS11 CP. There we go. Switch off this here slasher. I'll just throw the carver on for good measure. Throw a hat on for a holiday EXP bonus. So NS11CP is just the platinum recolor of the NS11C that you can buy in the game, and I'll be giving one of these away here in probably 5 minutes or so. I personally run 1X laser sight and high velocity ammo on mine as a kind of all-purpose sort of loadout. It can kind of do the jack of all trades, or jack of all ranges, if you will, for a carbine. Still has really good hip fire, but is very controllable at range. It has low velocity to begin with, so high velocity is pretty helpful on it, but it does have the option to run a laser sight and soft point or something like that if you want to load it out for specifically for close quarters. I am battle rank 100 Destiny, which is the max rank in the game. It's I mean, there's a lot of battle rank 100 characters out there now, since the game's been around for some time. It's not terribly easy or quick to get, but it's not terribly difficult or grindy either. I actually think it's in a pretty good place with all things considered: EXP boosts, memberships, double EXP, and so forth. I think the amount of EXP for BR100's pretty right on, in my personal opinion. So it's kind of a feat, but not anything ridiculous. I held that title, didn't I, for like 2 seconds or 2 weeks or something, Joss? I don't know if I can do it again. I mean, I probably could, but it'd be quite the undertaking. I don't know if I want to level anymore or not. So yeah, the codes are available for all of your characters. Same with if you were to buy anything that was common pool in Depot. Like if you bought an NS11, I'm gonna get myself killed. But if you went into the Depot and you bought any of these NS guns, and they don't have this little Empire logo next to them, that means they're common pool and they're usable by all Empires. So if you buy them with station cash, not certs, unlocks for your entire account. Same with the ones that are Empire specific, but it would unlock for alts of that faction if you had 2 NC characters or something like that. But yeah, when you redeem any of these codes, they are account wide. I think SOE's tried to make most things like that account wide now, which is definitely a good move. A lot of times they used to have promotional things that were bound to the first character that logged on or the character you redeemed them on, and that was really frustrating. So I think they've kind of switched over just about everything to that, with the exception of things that are intended to be Empire specific. But the codes themselves are first time, or rather first come first serve, one time use sort of thing, just because that's how the nature of the code is designed on the back end. $191, that's pretty good, man. I think if I actually drove myself crazy and tried to min-max it, I could certainly compete for it, because I got, what, 245 hours, and I wasn't really trying to do that. It was just a matter of I kind of only felt like playing the character on double EXP for a while, and would always have a boost in a membership, so it kind of just happened fast as a result of the situation. But I'd say the whole beginning of like BR1 to BR80 or so, maybe, I almost never, I don't want to say almost never, but a lot of that was not spent during double EXP. It was just during normal gameplay. So if I truly tried to min-max it, I could probably be up there. But yeah, those are some good things, man. I had fun with it either way. At least I held the record for some short amount of time, as well as the 4 BR100 record, or whatever you want to call it. I may still take more characters to BR100 someday. Yeah, he's been doing work, but I don't think I'll do more than 6. I made that quote-unquote mistake in PlanetSide 1 of getting 12 characters to max rank, and I think that was kind of even a greater feat 100 is necessarily, given how command rank worked in PlanetSide 1. And then like after a year or so, I was just like, what am I doing? It didn't make any sense. There was no real reason to have all those extra characters, and I ended up retiring 9 of them and just keeping the 1 for each empire. And it made a lot more sense. It was a lot more enjoyable after that point for me as well. So I didn't want to make the same mistake here, which is why I just started out with the 3. Then Future Crew came along and I had a reason to make a 4th. And then my OCD kicked in and said, well, now you kind of have some imbalanced characters going on. So I tentatively have a 5th and 6th character that are just, sitting there at BR27 or whatever. Nothing I've really committed to. But I'd say in the long run, I may decide to take them to BR100, but I don't see myself doing more than 6, just because I don't really find a purpose for it at that point in time. Kind of the 6 covers all the bases for me. So, and Wawa already has that record, so it's not like I'm going to be going for 7 or anything like that. But in due time I might finish the 5th and the 6th just for good measure, but haven't committed to it yet. I just hop on them every so often when I want to goof around with some stuff. If I do in fact take them to it though, I don't think they have that much playtime, so it's possible that they'll be competitors or contenders for quick BR100s, especially with more and more EXP boost related things that they've put into the game over time. It's only gotten easier and easier unless they finally do separate score and experience, and then it'll kind of really be a little bit wacky. Oh god, well, I'm dead. or I'm not. What time is it for me? It is 10:25 p.m. at the moment, Eastern Standard Time. So I normally do the show from 9:30 to 10:30. I think I got like a 2 or 3 minute late start, so I just want it to be an hour for the purpose of the VOD at least. So that's probably what I'll do. But I will give away the whatchamacallit, NS11CP that I have been using here. Probably next time I die right now, or not right now, but on this life, which could be right now. That was, I didn't know which way these guys were going to go, and then I thought the other guy saw me, but I guess he didn't. Anyway, NS11CP, bam, there it is. It's the last one I have for now, so enjoy it. It's a fun gun for sure, and if you like this style gun but you don't actually win the NS11CP code, you can buy an NS11C, which is the same gun, just a different color, in the depot, and have some fun with it yourself. Oh yeah, you can definitely get that way up there. The boosts nowadays. Even my my Connor EVS, which was my most recent BR100, a lot of that stuff wasn't quite in the game or didn't function the same way that it does now. Relative though, it's hard to compare. Different stats at different times and things like that. And I think as a trend, they've always kind of been making certs and EXP more and more accessible, which isn't a bad thing, I don't think. You don't want people to get frustrated. Okay, right, NS15's got a lot of colors on it. That guy does have a gunner. Some whack-a-mole to pick the target that's actually looking at you. Stolen with no assist credit. Oh, I guess maybe the spawn kill, that's fun. Well, this is a hell of a way to end the show. Oh, I guess there's 5 minutes left on it. I was gonna say. Not the most glamorous. Oh, we're out of ammo. Oh boy. Yeah, you can get those platinum guns and whatnot through the Recruit Rewards program if you do know people who you'd like to recruit into the game. Go to recruit.soe.com. That's where I got a lot of my stuff to begin with. And thank you for the follow on my channel as well, Nexium. Appreciate it. Link the recruit link in chat if anybody's interested. Yeah, definitely, Joby. I think 30% is probably the I don't want to say the cutoff, but like a good threshold of what people generally look at as being exceptional, above average, so on and so forth. In the mid to higher 30s is probably kind of the top tier for a lot of weapons, but 30 plus is definitely good. Really is quite relative though to how you play. There's always, you know, there's always ways to pad certain things and whatnot, but I think as a general rule of thumb, it's looking pretty well. Ow. Sniped and corvused. Yeah, there was always there's always that headshot rate debate, or whatever you want to call it. For a while I had like 35-36% accuracy, but my headshot rate was awful just because I purposely was, you know, going for body shots, especially with a lot of hip fire weapons and whatnot, where it was a little bit harder to nail headshots. And I mean, it worked, but this was way back before Dawson-Fall stat site even existed and whatnot. But so I mean, it worked, it got the job done, but I realized that I could be more efficient even if I lost a couple percent of accuracy in favor of bringing my headshot rate to a reasonable number. It would offset the damage in my favor. I mean, to this day, I'm still more of a body player, and I say that and it sounds kind of crappy, because you definitely want to be a head player, but I'm more of a make sure I get as many shots on target sort of a player than somebody who foregoes everything else just to make sure that they're headshots, if that makes any sense. I think you kind of need to run a balance between them. It's one thing to have a really high headshot rate, but if your accuracy is in the 20 percentiles, or 20 percentages, then you're probably not doing yourself a favor by trying so hard for the headshots. But if you can keep, you know, both in that area, your accuracy above 30%, your headshot rate's still in a good place, then you're in pretty good shape. But that's something I had to work out of habit for myself, just because my accuracy was really good, but headshot rate was in the trash can, like 10% or lower on certain, like for instance SMGs and other hipfire weapons. So I had to bring that back up to at least like a more respectable 20% plus. In most cases, there's still some guns that I have in the teens and whatnot, I think, for HSR, just because of a playstyle choice, I guess, more than anything. But, whoa. That's some mouse hiccups right there. LMGs are exceptionally good for getting good headshot rate with, since you're almost always aiming down sights. They're firing slower for the most part, and you can kind of pick those shots pretty well compared to carbines and SMGs, for instance. So really all depends as well. I don't know exactly what you mean, Destiny. I mean, you can certainly hop in the game at any time and play. There's no sort of inherent advantage that you know, a high battle rank player has over a low battle rank player, with the exception of the fact that they just have more certifications, so they have access to a wider variety of things. But BR100s get killed by single-digit BRs all day, so it's not like you're all that limited. Yeah, it's more frustrating. You're more limited in terms of your scope of what you have access to, as far as like specific upgrades and things like that. But you can play all the classes, use all the vehicles, and you know, have a pretty decent set of weapons right out the gate. So I don't think there's a, oh, you need to play for 6 months in order to be effective sort of thing. It's just you learn with time and whatnot, of course, as you would anywhere. But I think despite the fact that maybe certification grinding is a little bit slow for new players, especially somebody who doesn't want to invest in spending any sort of money or anything like that, with the exception of that, I think you can be quite effective from the get-go. But yeah, I mean, as Josk said, kind of as a closing point, they made some significant changes to the whole weaving your crouches into your strafe rotation, to where it's, you know, sometimes can throw somebody off nowadays in the right sort of situation, especially if you're very close range. But probably over a year ago now, they made a change to where you could really manipulate movement by doing it before. It makes a very small difference nowadays. So a lot of times it's not worth it anymore. but it certainly can throw some people off in the right situation. It's more of a feel, I think, now than anything in particular that you should do all the time. That being said, I've been talking a lot apparently because my throat is killing me, but I appreciate all of you guys hanging out with me tonight. It's been fun, but we're at about that limit right now for the show for tonight. Again, very happy holidays to everybody. Happy New Year, and just 48 hours, man. That's, well, 49 and a half, 49 hours and 25 minutes. Anyway, pretty soon is New Year's Eve, and you guys all have a wonderful one. I will see you in 2015 here, the first Monday of 2015, whenever the hell that is, the 5th or the 4th or the 6th or something of January, right here at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on this channel. And those of you who watch my channel over at ItZMuRdA.com, I'll link it again. I will probably see you guys tomorrow night, and then again after the New Year on Friday, Saturday. So you guys all have a wonderful New Year, wonderful week. And again, happy holidays to everybody. Thanks for hanging out, and have a great night, everybody. Take care.